Jesus didn't just hint at being God, he declared it, and his enemies tried to kill him for it. In John 5:58, Jesus says, "Before Abraham was, I am." Not I was, I am. He's quoting God's name from Exodus 3:14, "I am who I am." And the Jews immediately picked up stones to kill him because they knew Jesus was claiming to be Yahweh in the flesh. Here's the business. Jesus didn't say, "I'm a servant of I am." He said, "I am." And no honest reader can miss it unless their church tries to hide it. If Jesus didn't mean he was God, why did they clearly try to stone him for blasphemy? Jesus wasn't claiming a role, he was revealing his true identity.
In John 8:58, it's recorded, Jesus said to them, "Most assuredly I say to you, before Abraham was, I am." Does this mean Jesus said he's God? You know, dear friends, some believe that Jesus taught that he is God in John 8:58, but we here in the Church of Christ, we do not believe that. Let's find out together first what is actually written in that verse, John 8:58. Jesus said to them, "Most assuredly I say to you, before Abraham was, I am." So, let's first state the obvious, which is that the verse does not say that Christ is God. And as we learned, dear friends, from previous lessons, we're not allowed to just inject our own opinion. Is the I am that Christ said the same as the I am that God said? Some are interpreting that by Christ saying the words, I am, he allegedly is saying he is God, because God said, I am, in his, as he was expressing his name in Exodus 3:14. So, let's find out what is really written in that verse, Exodus 3:14. And God said to Moses, I am who I am. And he said, thus you shall say to the children of Israel, I am has sent me to you. So here people then simply draw the wrong conclusion that because God said, I am, and Jesus said, I am, in two very different instances, that means Christ and God are one and the same. Is this interpretation the correct way to understand these verses? Now, if we will go along with the reasoning of some that Christ is God because he said, I am, then we once again run into a contradiction within the Bible. Because Christ is not the only one who said, I am. In John chapter 9, verse 9, we can read what the formerly blind man said when people questioned who he was. Let's read his response in chapter 9, verse 9. Some said, it is. But others said, no, he just looks like him. He said, I am. Now, does the fact that the formerly blind man said, I am, mean that he is God? Of course not. In fact, even Apostle Paul would then have to be given consideration as God because of what he said when describing himself in 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 10. By the grace of God, I am what I am. We are starting to see here, dear friends, that this simple line of reasoning used by some to prove Christ is God is a very, very weak argument. A person describing himself by merely using similar words that God used does not make that person God. So to review, or let's say to summarize our discussion, let's answer the questions posed earlier. Is the I am that Christ said the same as the I am that God said? Not at all. The I am that God said in Exodus 3:14 is how God described himself to the people through Moses. Christ was simply saying, I am, in the same manner that the blind man and even Apostle Paul also described themselves. This is how we should understand this verse. Friends, That's in the Bible. If you were taught something different about John 8:58, we're glad that you now know the truth. And we'd like you to continue learning the truth here with us in the Iglesia Ni Cristo Church of Christ